Hi, Eric Linask here at ITEXPO in Miami. On the program with me today from B+B Smartworx is Mike Farian. Mike, thanks for joining me. Good to have you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So, the first thing, let's cut to the chase. There's a little bit of a rebranding that you've gone through from B+B Electronics to B+B Smartworx. What was the motivation behind that?
Yeah, and this is an interesting one for us. So B+B Electronics has been around since 1981 in M2M connectivity at the edge of the networks, serving millions of device machine-to-machine communications and connections. What we really saw over the last couple of years in the market is a rate of change like we've never seen before. So we're seeing technologies converge and acceptance of convergence of technologies that were driving a vast change in what was traditionally M2M. So what used to be a very siloed world of people developing kind of point-in-time solutions for, be it a SCADA application or security application, to a growing expectation that I'd say we're under the front edge of the bell curve now, to really integrating what I would call IT technologies with operations technologies. So with that, we recognized that we needed to make significant changes to get in front of this whole curve. So we've changed our technology roadmap, we've changed our product roadmap, our growing system of our network of ecosystem partners in response to this, to really position ourselves as where we could add the most value as a hardware manufacturer of intelligent hardware, where we bring really intelligence to the edge of the network. So with all that, we kind of brought our heads out after a lot of hard work and said, we really need to rebrand the company. This is a very different company than it was just a few short years ago, yet we're leveraging all those skill sets that we had around connectivity with devices at the network's edge, where things tend to be very messy and non-standardized. So with that, we said we want to keep a little bit of the old name with the B+B, because we're very well known for technical support and great service, but move forward with a new moniker around B+B Smartworx.
Well, it certainly makes an awful lot of sense. How has that sort of been accepted by your customer base, obviously, which has known you for several decades under the old brand? Yeah,
it's interesting. It's probably, you could look at it as twofold. So there's a legacy of customers, certainly within North America, that knows B+B Electronics because they used to get catalogs from us. The design engineer would get, we'd publish over 1 million catalogs a year of all kinds of connectivity solutions. So there's a warm feeling around the company. So it's with a lot of interest. I think that those customers are seeing the name, and a lot of excitement around recognizing kind of where the market's going. From a partner perspective, tremendous excitement, because there's a broad awareness now. I think we're not on the very front edge anymore of recognizing that this IoT is more than press and media and hype. There's real opportunity in the industrial IoT. These platitudes of eliminating unplanned downtime, better use of assets and resources are really beginning to be realized, and the opportunities there are quite recognized. And I think B+B has a lot to offer in that space.
So, you talked about sort of evolving your product roadmap and your partner strategy in those. I guess all of that really focuses around the evolution of your own product set. So, how has that sort of changed with the rebrand?
Yeah, so if you look at our technology roadmap, we're very aggressive now about pushing more and more intelligence out to the edge of the networks, and we feel very strongly that that creates the best value. It reduces the complexity of that entire connectivity stack that makes up the industrial IoT today. It allows you to reduce the total cost of ownership of products as well, the amount of bandwidth and resources that are consumed to transfer data and realize applications. So internally for us, what that means is we have a lot more software engineers on staff. So we are a hardware manufacturer, but yet being a hardware manufacturer, we probably have 6 or 8 to 1 software engineers for every hardware engineer in the company. So it's kind of evidence of pushing a lot of intelligence, a lot of investments in software out to the edge of networks. And certainly from a partner perspective, we recognize, along with the biggest companies in this space, all the blue chips, that even the largest of companies can't do this alone. The connectivity stack is quite complex. So really have had a lot of success and a lot of traction in developing partnerships with the various technology providers and platform providers out there, be it connectivity, cellular connectivity providers, or platform providers, the platform as a service, software as a service, the guys that will enable the dashboard applications and the analytics that really complete the application. So we see our role is very much to make it as easy as possible to grab data from devices at the very edge or even beyond the edge of networks and bring it up to that application layer. But we're not trying to be the application provider ourselves. That's for our partners and our customer base. They're the ones with the vertical market expertise and the deep customer knowledge in particular segments to do that. We're not trying to position ourselves as a vertical market expert. We're connectivity experts and solution stack experts to take it up to the application layer, but we really want to partner with people that can complete those applications.
It's interesting. We've, in a lot of ways, come full circle, where we've taken we took a lot of the intelligence from the edge of the network, put it up in the cloud, and now we're realizing, you know what, we really want a lot of it, or at least some of it, at the network edge, closer to the user and the device.
Yeah. And I think some of that comes from scale, but the whole concept of thin computing will push everything up. When you start to look at the scale that makes up the industrial IoT, and we're not talking millions of connections, we're talking tens and hundreds of millions and maybe billions of connections. If you start doing just the simple math on bandwidth constraints, network infrastructure, it makes little sense. And the reality is, the vast majority of all that information you collect at the edge of networks is very boring. So things only get interesting when they change, or the rate of change changes, or things are outside of boundaries that are prescribed. So it makes no sense to have to build out an infrastructure of networking and pay for the bandwidth and the size of the pipes you need to bring all that data from billions of devices up into some analytics application that then is just going to discard the vast majority of that information.
It's going to tell you there's nothing going on.
Right. So nothing of interest here, keep moving sort of thing. So why not push that intelligence out to the edge, and it's at the edge where you really have the best knowledge and best visibility of what's interesting and what's not interesting. And not to say there's not applications that you might start with bringing a wide bandwidth of information up, because you need that analytics to decide what's important. So maybe you bring a lot of data up for a pilot period, and then through that you do some deep analytics and decide, here's my cause and effect factors. Now I can apply some business logic down at the edge of the networks. And now when I deploy and scale, I can do this on a fraction of the bandwidth, a fraction of the size pipes that I would need to do otherwise.
Got it. Excellent. Well, Mike, certainly an exciting time in the IoT space. Thanks so much for being here at the show, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you. Appreciate it.